Hey everybody, it's Dr. Carmen Bryan. How you guys are doing? This is Car Chronicles. You guys ready? Well, let's do this. On my live on Sunday, I had someone ask me to expound on malignant narcissism. And she wanted to know more, and I told her I was going to make a video. I don't recall who she was, but I did tell her I was going to make a video to talk more about malignant narcissism. So here we go. So if you watch Dr. Ramani, she talks a lot about the different types of narcissism. Understand that in the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Psychiatric Disorders, there is one diagnosis called narcissistic personality disorder, which is a part of the cluster B family. And in the cluster B family, you have a narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, and antisocial personality disorder. Those are the clusters. And they kind of, have similar traits, so sometimes you can misdiagnose someone because they have very similar traits. That's why they're called clusters, because some of those clusters kind of feed into each other. But you have narcissistic personality disorder. Now, when you start talking about malignant narcissism is a type. She describes it as a type. And the best way that I can describe it to you is a definition. It's a definition or a description of a behavior. And in that behavior, the description malignant narcissist is descriptive of, you hear psychopathy or psychopath and sociopath or psychopathy and sociopathy. Sociopathy. I had to go look it up. Sociopathy and sociopathy. Sociopathy and psychopathy. There we go. I got it. Tongue twister. But those two right there were a description of antisocial personality disorder. Those two words are also not in the DSM, but it was descriptive of antisocial personality disorder. So malignant narcissism is a form of psychopathy and sociopathy. Sociopathy. There we go. Sociopathy. You got it. Now, malignant narcissism, which is the malignant narcissism, which is antisocial personality disorder. Malignant narcissism is not something that was termed in the DSM, but you will find, if you read articles, was termed by law enforcement or forensic, in the forensic field, to describe a behavior, not a mental diagnosis. These type of people get a sense of satisfaction by hurting, manipulating people, watching them hurt and watching themselves hurt them. But they get a sense of satisfaction because of power and control, or a sense of gain. They gain something out of it. This harmful behavior can escalate into criminal activity or criminal behavior. So as I said, it's not a diagnosis, it's not a mental diagnosis, but is more of a description, a type of behavior of a narcissist, or anyone that has antisocial personality disorder. Like I said, psychopathy and sociopathy is a description. And those were terms that were used to describe antisocial personality disorder. So now you have narcissism. When you say malignant narcissist, you're talking about an individual that has antisocial personality disorder. Psychopathy, sociopathy. We'll just say it like that. Boy, that's a tongue twister. So a malignant narcissist gains attention by harming people. Their behavior can oftentimes be criminal. They lack remorse. They have no respect for law. Law doesn't apply to them, and they have no respect for people's rights. So if that's your purse, it is now their purse. If that's your car, it is now their car. It doesn't matter. If they want something, they want it. They totally disregard your rights, and even to legal rights. They disregard your legal rights. They could care less. They lie. They're hostile. They're very aggressive. Their behaviors can be very impulsive. And what draws people is oftentimes they can be very attractive. So they're very charming, very, very charming and charismatic. But behind that mask of charm and charisma is a evil individual. And the malignant narcissist is one of the most dangerous narcissists to run into or to interact with, because they don't have a problem with unaliving you, your family, or anything else to make a point. They're even to a point where they'll unalive themselves and everyone around them to get a reaction from everyone. But when you're gone, how do you know that people are reacting? You know what I mean? That they don't have a problem getting reaction from people or making you suffer or watching you suffer if they unalive your pet, your children, your family, and they like to see your reactions, which most of you know, I can only empathize. I can't imagine, it's never happened to me, but to think someone can totally destroy your entire family and then watch you react and get pleasure. You see that on a lot of court TV where the criminal gets pleasure out of watching people cry and scream in the court, and they're suffering in the court, and they get pleasure out of watching that. That is horrific. That is demonic. Remember, a malignant narcissist, sociopath, psychopath that describes antisocial personality disorder has a total disregard for people's feelings. They have a total disregard for people's well-being. They have a total disregard for your needs. If they want something, they want it at all costs, disregarding you altogether as a person. These are those individuals you would consider having no conscience whatsoever. No conscience. Can do stuff, unalive people, and come home and have a birthday party. Come home and eat dinner and act like nothing has ever happened. It's like their conscience is seared. But these are the type of people you're talking about when you're talking about a malignant narcissist. A malignant narcissist, normally the greater narcissist, which you would consider the greater narcissist, that would be the malignant narcissist, the most dangerous one. These are the ones that are very calculated and very strategic, very charismatic. Even their voice, like their voice will mesmerize you. Their voice will hypnotize you. And most people are so drawn to them because there's something about them. There's this charm. There's something about them that just turns people on and has them follow. But these are dangerous individuals. Once they get a hold of you, they're not going to let go. If you try to discard them, and they're not ready to be discarded, or even if they discard you when they want to come back in your life, they make a demand. They're so dangerous that oftentimes they even, it's hard for police to gain control because they know how to manipulate the court system. Remember, they've been doing this for so long that they have learned human nature. So when people ask the question, can a narcissist love? Let's talk about the malignant narcissist. Are they capable of feeling love? Love is a tool. You can look that up. But love becomes a tool, a strategic plan to get something that they want. They know how to mimic the emotions, mimic the reactions, mimic the facial expression, mimic the words. And for most people, that's what they desire to hear. But they have no feelings of compassion, no feelings of empathy. They lack emotional empathy. And emotional empathy is to be able to put your feet in somebody's shoes and feel their pain. Now, I'm not talking about the empath that takes it, a lot of times takes it and literally feels it in their body. No, I'm talking about those of us that are not empaths and have empathy, to be able to step in someone's shoes and feel their pain. And I say this all the time, the loss of a parent, God forbid, but to empathize with you, to think, oh my gosh, one day my parent can pass, and I can only imagine what you could be possibly going through. And I'm listening to you as you talk about, love your parents, because when they're gone, there's nothing you can ask them or ask them this question, and you're empathetic with that person, like, wow, and you can see them hurting. So you're like, wow, you cry with them. That's empathy. That doesn't mean I actually feel your emotions, but I can empathize the pain because I have a mother. I can relate. I can relate. I just don't know what it's like, but I'm watching you go through it. A narcissist can't do that. They don't have emotional empathy. They have cognitive empathy, meaning they understand how emotions work. So they know how to push buttons to get a response from you. Now think about it. When you're talking about a malignant narcissist that also has antisocial personality disorder, or what we would consider psychopaths or sociopaths that lack even a conscience, their conscience is seared, and they enjoy watching the pain of other people, but they're charming. It's a superficial charm that they have where they know how to manipulate people, but they've been doing it for so long that it's easy. They watch emotions. They know how to show emotions. They know, but there is no genuine emotions there. These are the most dangerous of all narcissists. The type. Remember the description of the behavior, what law enforcement and forensics talk about. These are the ones you also see on death row and in the prison system, where they enjoy watching people cry over the crimes that they have committed. Dangerous. Get away from them.